live. What's happening, people? Good morning, Europe, and welcome everyone to our live stream. My name is Andrew, and for the last 10 years, I've worked in many retail and institutional Forex brokerages in Europe. Follow me in this amazing journey and find out the hidden corners of Forex trading. Learn what most Forex brokers don't want you to know, and get rewarded for learning. I have an iPad waiting for its owner, live trading accounts, one-on-one training with a reputable market analyst from London, and much, much more. You can find all the links in the description down below, guys. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more great content. This show is proudly sponsored by our partners at Forexy and Markets.com. European markets open, coming up. What's up, guys? Here's what's happening in the markets today, 18th of November, 2020. Global stocks pulled back on the Asian trading session on weak US sales and rising COVID cases. European currencies pushed higher overnight on the back of a weak US dollar. Gold futures are still trading below the 1900 level, waiting for a catalyst for the upside. And the all-time champion, guys, Bitcoin traded as high as $18,354 last night, giving back some $500 overnight. Welcome to the European trading session, everyone. Remember that I promised you I'm going to call someone when Bitcoin reaches the $17,000 mark? Well, it happened yesterday. It happened yesterday afternoon. So this afternoon, guys, we will have Georgia Gatangelu, board member at Cyprus Blockchain Association, for an incendiary talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So don't miss out. 4:30 GMT plus 2 today. Georgia Gatangelu will be with us. Let's see what is happening today, guys, on the markets. We have a big day in the economic calendar. We had quite a few announcements already. There we go. So we started the day after midnight with announcements coming from Japan. We had exports and the trade balance announced from Japan. They both came out positive. They came out in green, better than what economists have predicted. Then we had a couple of announcements on the Aussie dollar, which came out. We had the wage price index, which came out 0.1% versus a prediction of 0.2% by economists. And we had the consumer price index and the producer price index announced pre-market open earlier on, and on the pound. And surprisingly, all three of them came out in green, way above consensus expectations. CPI came out 0.7% versus an expectation of 0.6%. The month-to-month one came out at 0%, which again was better than what economists have predicted. Economists saw a negative 0.1%. And the producer price index input monthly came out 0.2%, which is 1 point above consensus expectations. Today around lunchtime, guys, we're going to have three announcements in the Eurozone. We're going to have the consumer price index and the core CPI month-to-month and year-to-year. Let's see what's going to happen. We're going to have a bit of movement today on the euro. And in the afternoon, guys, 3:30 GMT plus 2, 1 hour prior to the US Open, we're going to have a series of announcements coming from US and Canada. We're going to have the building permits, guys, month to month and year over year. We're going to have housing starts, and then the core CPI month to month and year over year. And the CPI data will be announced on the Canadian dollar. At 5 o'clock GMT plus 2, we have ECB President Christine Lagarde having a press conference. Once again, she said very, very interesting things at the last press conference. I'm going to share that with you in the next couple of minutes. And 5:30 GMT plus 2, guys, crude oil inventories and Cushing crude oil inventories. The long-awaited crude oil inventories report, which comes out every Wednesday. That basically measures how much oil America has in storage, or how much oil America burned last week from the storage. Now, a couple of interesting articles, as I was telling you guys. Let's start with the European stock markets. European stock markets are seen opening lower today amid worries that the recent surge in COVID cases throughout the region will halt the economic recovery, even given the COVID-19 vaccine breakthrough. At 2:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the DAX futures contract in Germany traded 0.2% lower. CAC 40 futures in France dropped 0.4%, and the FTSE 100 futures in UK fell 0.5%. Negative opening this morning on the European indices, guys. The sentiment has weakened as the week has progressed, as investors return to the basic concept that large sections of many economies throughout Europe remain closed as governments react to a second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Yesterday, guys, Scotland's First Minister announced that large areas of the country will shut down all non-essential shops from Friday to combat a rise in cases, mostly in the west of the country. Equity markets had been given a boost on Monday when Moderna said its experimental COVID-19 vaccine was 94.5% effective in preventing infection, adding to Pfizer's promising trial data last week. However, an effective COVID vaccine will not fundamentally change European Central Bank economic projections, as a medical solution was already factored into the forecast, ECB President Christine Lagarde told Bloomberg yesterday. Right, the real GDP is projected to fall by 8% in 2020, according to the latest ECB staff projections, before rebounding by only 5% in 2021 and by 3.2% in 2022. Wow. Apparently, this economic crash will last for the next couple of years, guys, as things stand right now. The world economies were affected heavily. While the deployment of vaccines could occur more quickly than earlier thought, the economy was also taking a bigger hit from the second wave of the pandemic than expected, Christine Lagarde added. Now, more on oil, guys. Oil prices weakened in the U.S. Yesterday after a jump in country's inventories raised fears of a potential glut amid uncertainty over the output plans of the top producer for next year. The industry body, the American Petroleum Institute, said late yesterday that U.S. crude stockpiles rose by 4.2 million barrels last week, well above expectations for a build of 1.7 million barrels. Official supply data are due later today in the session. OPEC Plus, a group which includes members of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries as well as Russia, held a ministerial committee meeting yesterday. However, it made no formal recommendation over whether to reverse its previously agreed plan to boost output by 2 million barrels per day in January, ahead of a full meeting starting at the end of the month. They are trying. OPEC and OPEC Plus, guys, basically is the cartel that keeps oil production and oil prices under control, or so they should. And it's very interesting that they are acting on supporting the oil prices. They understand what's going on, and they might cut the supply even further if needed in January or early next year, in the first quarter of next year. Having that said, crude futures traded 0.2% lower at $41.38 a barrel, while the international benchmark Brent rose 0.1% to $43.80. Gold futures fell 0.3%, trading at $1,879 an ounce, while the euro US dollar traded 0.2% higher at 118.79. This is what happened. We're going to have a look at the charts and the signals of the day in a minute, guys. Let's just give the markets a few more minutes to hopefully calm down. So when we look at the signals, hopefully we're going to get clear signals, clear indication of the markets. Let's have a quick look at another interesting article that talks about oil. There's a more in-depth article. Right, oil prices were mixed today as a bigger than expected build in U.S. Crude stockpiles and weaker U.S. retail sales stoked fears over fuel demand, although hopes that OPEC and its allies will delay a planned rise in oil output lend support. The American Petroleum Institute said yesterday that U.S. crude stockpiles rose by 4.2 million barrels last week, well above analyst expectations in a Reuters poll for a build of 1.7 million barrels only. Right, more on oil. Disappointing U.S. retail sales also raised concerns over weaker U.S. consumption in the light of the COVID-19 resurgence. Okay, that was said by Jeffrey Halley, senior market analyst at Owanda. U.S. retail sales increased less than expected in October, restrained by spiraling new COVID-19 infections and declining household income as millions of unemployed Americans lose government financial support. Right. Now, enough about oil, guys. There's the economic calendar. There's what's happening today. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of announcements in the afternoon. We're gonna see a bit of movement on the euro as well as on the US dollar and hopefully on the CAD. Okay, let's say what Christine Lagarde will say today at 5 o'clock GMT plus 2. And then we're going to keep an eye on crude oil inventories and Cushing crude oil inventories to be announced later on, followed by obviously an FOMC press conference. So, quite a bit of movement expected today, guys. How about the charts? How about we have a look at the charts of the day? How about we have a look at the signals of the day and see if the markets give us a bit of direction for today? Coming back live in 30 seconds with the charts of the day. Bear with me for just a second. Right. There seemed to be something wrong with my adverts. Bear with me for a second. Right, and we're back. I don't know why the advert refused to work this morning. Sometimes it happens. So the charts of the day, guys. We're going to start with crude oil futures. Crude oil is currently trading at $41.51. We can see it testing the 50 moving average on the Asian trading session overnight. It's currently trading higher. It's trying to push a bit higher ahead of the crude oil inventories. If we're going to see the movement continuing, yeah, judging by the RSI and stochastic at the bottom of the charts, guys, there is a bit of potential for the upside. Then probably traders will set their take profits as the first take profit level at 42. Let's say 42 on the dot or somewhere in that region. Okay, there is potential for the upside today. Yeah, so the 42 mark will be the first take profit level, followed by the second take profit level at 42.87 or somewhere around there. If crude oil decides to push higher after the European opening today and ahead of the crude oil inventories. Okay, the other option is for crude oil to come down and test the 200 moving average at $40.55. But so far, the upside prevails. Let's move on to the euro, guys. Let's see how the euro acted on the Asian trading session. Wow, what a great performance for the euro. Currently trading at 118.88 versus the US dollar. RSI, stochastic are very close to the overbought levels. So we might see a bit of a pullback after the market open. But overall, the sentiment remains positive on the European currencies today, guys. So if that's the case, we're going to see traders setting their first take profit at the previous highs or somewhere in that region at around 119.22. Okay, for the euro. We're moving on to the pound, guys, to the cable. The pound versus the US dollar, currently trading at 132.85. We see the pound currently breaking this support level at 132.85. There is potential to the upside. We had a bit of news from UK. The first news was that we might see a deal eventually. UK and the European Union might agree on something as soon as this week. And also, Boris Johnson announced earlier on that diesel car sales in UK will be banned in the next 10 years. That is the green plan that UK has. So fingers crossed that's going to happen. This is basically what brings a bit of positivity on the pound today. Yeah, the Brexit talks and the announcement, the green announcement that Boris Johnson made earlier on. Now, USD JPY on a 60-minute chart. We see the US dollar dropping on the US trading session last night, as well as on the Asian trading session. It's currently trading at 103.88. And by the looks of it, it's heading downwards towards the 103.27. If it's going to continue the same downtrend today. We're looking at the RSI and stochastic at the bottom of the charts, guys, way in the oversold levels. That usually implies a bit of selling power, a lot of selling power, actually. Let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, so 103.24, somewhere in that region, will probably be the first take profit target for traders that decide to go short on the USD JPY today. The Aussie dollar, let's see what the Aussie dollar is doing. Great performance on the Asian trading session for the Aussie dollar. Dropped a bit on the US trading session, but it picked up overnight. Currently trading at 0.7319 versus the US dollar. RSI stochastic still have plenty of room to go. They did not reach the overbought levels yet. There's still potential to the upside. If you want to be careful, guys, you can look towards the 0.7337 as the first take profit level, or somewhere there, as that's the most recent high. And if you look far left, again, you can see that price was reached again at some point last week. So if the dollar keeps the downturn today and the Aussie dollar decides to go up, then we're going to see that level reached most probably. USD CAD, on the other hand, moved below the 200 moving average, currently trading at 130.70 versus the Canadian dollar. It's trading at a support level at 130.64 as things stand right now. If that's going to be broken, guys, then probably traders will eye for the 130.20, 130.21 level as the first take profit to the downside. And if that's going to continue, then probably they will aim for the 130 flat, or just below the 130 flat. Now, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones closed the day slightly higher, but still at the same levels, more or less. Nothing big really happened. We had a good rally for a few hours, but as the closing came closer, then the price started retracting. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen today, guys, after the US Open. The dollar index, which is traded against a basket of currencies, again, it's pushing lower, and it pushed lower yesterday and overnight, currently trading at 92.21. There you go. I was telling you this yesterday morning, guys, that if the US dollar index continues the downtrend, we might see it reaching the 92.15, and it's just inches away from the 92.15 to the downside. RSI stochastic pointing downwards. Gold futures, guys. Gold did not find the power to push higher. We're all waiting for gold to get back to the 1900 levels that we got used to. That's the psychological level. Still nothing yet. Gold is still trading at 1880. It moved below the 200 and the 50 MA on a 1 hour chart. We see RSI stochastic trading at their lows and apparently turning around to the downside as things stand right now. So if we're going to see a bit of a correction, guys, on the US dollar index today, probably gold will aim lower towards the 1866 level. That's very, very likely where traders will set their first take profit for the downside on gold futures. 1879 right now, 1866 eyed as the first take profit level for the downside for gold. Brent oil futures, guys, a bit of hope in Brent oil futures, currently trading at $44.01. They've been pushing higher for the last couple of hours. The price is well supported by the 50 MA. So if this movement will continue today, probably we're going to see the 44.46 level reached, and probably that's going to be the first take profit for the upside. Now, silver, what is silver doing? Silver, again, is trying to push through the 200 moving average on the upside. RSI stochastic are trading somewhere halfway, so not a lot of hope for silver futures to the upside today. Let's have a look at Bitcoin, guys. Let's have a look at Bitcoin, which, again, oh my God, Bitcoin is trading at $18,191, guys. It broke the 17,000 mark yesterday. It broke the 18,000 mark last night. Are we going to see Bitcoin reaching the 20,000 mark by Friday? We are so close, guys. Only less than $2,000 to the all-time high at $20,000. Very good performance for the Bitcoin. Tremendous performance for the Bitcoin. Now, once again, talking about Bitcoin, let's not forget that this afternoon, guys, as promised, I'm going to have George Agathangelu in an incendiary interview about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin's most recent rally. George Agathangelu, board member at Cyprus Blockchain Association. We had a chat with George on Friday. It was amazing. And I made a live promise. I said, whenever Bitcoin is going to reach the 17,000 or the 20,000 level, I'm going to give you a call straight away. The time has come, guys. We're going to call George this afternoon. So join us this afternoon for an amazing interview. Now, quick look at some trading signals 21 minutes into the European opening. Wow, the signals on the currency pairs today, guys, seem to be very, very clear. We're looking at the euro and the pound with strong buy positions on all 4 time frames against the US dollar. We see USD JPY and USD CHF with strong sell positions on a 15 minutes hourly and daily. The 5 minutes one is a bit dodgy, let's say. The markets did not calm down yet by the looks of things, but there is potential for the downside for the US dollar. So we're going to see how the day goes along. AUD USD, strong buy positions on all 4 time frames. It might be very interesting to have a look at it, the AUD USD today, guys. Then we see USD CAD, strong sell on all 4 time frames. Wow. The Kiwi dollar versus the US dollar, strong buy on all 4 time frames. And the Euro CHF, guys, strong buy on all 4 time frames. I like today's market opening, guys. Even though we had a negative opening on the DAX and the CAC 40, I really like the market opening. We get a clear indication. Let's hope the signals are right, though, and the markets will not shift direction anytime soon. Let's have a quick look at the indices, guys, the European indices, and see what happened this morning. There we go. We see the FTSE on a strong sell on a 5-minute chart, 25 minutes in the opening. We see the DAX neutral, guys, on 3 time frames. The daily remains a strong buy, though. And we see CAC 40 neutral on a 5-minute chart, and the 15 minutes, the hourly, and the daily remain a strong buy. Not enough indication for the European indices. Let's have a look at commodities. Maybe we get a clear indication. That's how, by the way, guys, for beginner traders, very, very important to know. When you're following trading signals, remember, a trading signal is not a magic formula. The trading signal, it won't be 100% accurate. That's almost impossible, because any news that comes from across the pond or from anywhere around the world might completely shift the direction. Remember, professional traders, banks, the big traders, the big boys, are many, many times buying the news, or selling the news, the rumor. So that's why there's no such thing as 100% accuracy in trading signals. Sometimes, most of the times, they can be 70%, 75%, even 80% accurate. But it's very, very difficult to follow blindly a trading signal without looking at the charts, at least, and trying to do a bit of analysis yourself. So, half an hour into the European trading session this morning, gold and silver still a bit undecided. Gold is really undecided this morning. Silver shows a strong buy on the first 3 time frames, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and hourly. Copper, strong buy on all 4 time frames. Crude oil, WTI, and Brent oil, strong buy on all 4 time frames. A lot of green in commodities today. Natural gas, strong buy. And US wheat, guys, apparently it's been turning around today. Trading higher. US wheat is looking to trade higher with a strong buy on the first 3 time frames. Now, hello, right? Okay, I see we have some comments. We have some questions. 2 minutes and I'll take your questions. 2 more minutes and I'll take your questions. Now, what was I saying? Right, we had a look at indices. We had a look at forex. We had a look at commodities, guys. This is how the markets open. Long story short, the US dollar, at least according to investing.com and the news that came from US recently, is expected to weaken against the European currencies. The euro and the pound, as you see on the screen right now, according to investing.com, are supposed to strengthen. We see strong buy positions on all 4 time frames versus the US dollar. USD CAD, strong sell on all 4 time frames. What else we got? The pound, again, is supposed to strengthen versus the JPY and the CHF. Now, remember, guys, it's not a must that you trade everything you see on the chart. The charts are like a menu from a restaurant. You only trade what you know. But if you decide to trade, guys, maybe you want to open smaller positions and open 2 or 3 or 4 small positions, correlated positions, very, very careful, instead of going big on one, because maybe that one will not move today. Now, let's take a question or 2, guys. Let's see what is going on. Right, the question I had now is evening target, Bitcoin US dollar. Now, we are going in uncharted territory, guys. It's very, very difficult to predict, especially the cryptocurrencies and the Bitcoin, which is the only asset class that has the ability of jumping up and down $1,000 to $2,000 in only a few hours. Okay, I was talking about a potential correction last night after the amazing rally and Bitcoin breaking the 17,000 level. We see the correction, but still, the correction is not enough, guys. Usually after a rally like this of 20, 30, 40%, you're going to see bigger corrections. It still didn't happen. And by the looks of things, Bitcoin is pushing higher and higher and higher. Now, to try and help you a bit with the chart analysis, keep an eye on the key levels. Yeah, and you're going to see that the key levels are 18,300. Yes, 17,300, 16,300 and something. Yeah, 15,300. Apparently, this is how Bitcoin likes it. Yeah, to jump up and hover around the 300 something level. Target is very difficult. It's almost impossible to set a target. And remember, cryptocurrencies have a lower leverage. They have a smaller leverage. Sometimes it's 1 to 5 only, yeah, versus currency pairs that have a leverage sometimes of 1 to 400, yeah, or even 1 to 30 with the European regulation. So it's more expensive to trade on. I'll give you a hint. Have a look at Ethereum, which is slightly cheaper to trade than Bitcoin, and most of the times it acts just like the Bitcoin. Yeah, we can see the same pullback and the same rally on Ethereum. We can see Ethereum price bouncing off the 50 moving average. Yeah, and currently trading at $479.53. Now, if you want to be really, really cautious and you want to trade cryptos, you can aim for the previous high. Yeah, like most traders do. Most traders that want to be really, really cautious. The previous high is at 492.77, somewhere in that region. 492, high in the 492. So you could get, $20, let's say, no, $12, let's say, from Ethereum, from the current market price to that market price. And if you have 5 Ethereums, 5 coins, then you're gonna make $100 profit roughly. This is how you see it. So remember, Bitcoin is one of the best, is the best cryptocurrency and is the first cryptocurrency ever. However, you have other coins that move just like Bitcoin. So think about that. Now, I hope this answers your question. If you have any more questions, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions in the afternoon at 4:30, when we're going to have Georgia Gathangelu once again for an amazing interview about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. This is it from my side for today, guys. Until 4:30 GMT plus 2. Remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money. Take care, guys.